What is going on, YouTube? We have done it. We have finally come up with an Aspen Dungeon tier list here. It's for August 2020. A lot of you people have been asking for a tier list, so here it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. So before we get into the hero builds, let's take a quick look at Ada as an example. You're going to have the stone that I recommend, followed by the artifact, then the gearing, and then the enables. That should give you guys all the information you need to at least tune the hero properly and to get into Aspen Dungeon to start pushing for Death 50. So in Ada's case, you have the two options available. It's the HP effective being healed stone and the HP heal effect stone. Then you have Crown and Fearless Armor as the two artifacts of choice. Then you have the gearing. So if you take a look at all the heroes, they all have individual gearing, and the blue boxes mean that you're going to use the class gear. So for Ada's case, you're going to use 2 pieces of mage gear, and the gray boxes mean you're going to use the flame gear, giving you that split for maximum HP stats. And the last section is going to be the enables. Very straightforward. For Ada, it's going to be 1, 3, 3, 1, 2. So I've broken it down into the stone you need, the artifacts you need to use, the gearing on how to equip it, as well as which enables to choose. So the reason why I think Ada is the strongest hero in Aspen Dungeon is because of her kit. She has DR, true damage on her active, she has mark damage from her active, she has end of round damage that scales as enemies get stronger, and she also has a built-in heal. Now, there are a lot of waves that Ada can't do, and that's where your other 4 heroes come from. And that's why I have her above all the other heroes, because I feel that if you have an Ada on your team, you're going to have the easiest time to get to Death 50, and all you need to figure out is what 4 heroes do you need to counter what waves. Next, let's take a look at the S tier heroes. Here we have Faithblade and Sherlock. We'll start with Faithblade. The reason why I chose him is because of the ability for him to store energy. He has a passive that says when a hero on the battlefield dies, he gains 100 energy. So you can use that to your advantage to kill enemies in one fight, gain energy, and store that energy for your next fight. Aspen Dungeon remembers how much energy your hero has at the end of a battle and will keep track of that until the next battle. So by using that mechanic, you can snowball his actives and keep clearing waves over and over again without much issue. And then there was Sherlock. Sherlock's busted. Let's be honest. His ability to dove enemies and then kind of stall out until round 15, where he starts picking up that damage increase round after round after round, is absolutely OP. He is able to do things that not many other heroes in Aspen Dungeon can do, and that's survive till round 30 plus if he needs to. For that alone, he is S tier. The reason why I didn't want to give him S plus tier is because there's a little bit of RNG involved with him. You need to get pretty lucky to keep doving an enemy. Now, if you have an upgraded receptor, that gets easier and easier, but because of that little unstableness to him, I like to rank him in S tier alongside Faithblade. The A tier: Russell, Penny, Drake, and Aqua. Russell is the best burst hero in the game. No contest. If you give him 1 demon potion, he can clear every single wave from death 1 to death 40. The problem is, you're not going to get 40 demon potions. So that's his drawback. But what he does the best. And then we have Penny. Penny is a great hero for Aspen Dungeon. A lot of people still have her from the mid game, and I would really suggest that you keep her around if Death 50 is one of those things that you're really aiming for, because she's able to clear a lot of the early stages and even the middle stages of Aspen Dungeon without much effort or just 1 demon potion. So she's like a Russell light, essentially. She can't do as much burst to as many heroes as Russell, but she has the potential to do a lot of damage using her basic and her active. Drake. He's probably my favorite hero for Aspen Dungeon right now. It used to be Faithblade, but watching Drake pop off is one of the most satisfying feelings in the game in Aspen Dungeon. His dodging and his critting just make him absolutely insane. He's able to take out a lot of tough waves because of the fact that he can have quote-unquote 100% DR with his dodge mechanic. Next, we have Aqua. Aqua is actually an absolute terror in Aspen Dungeon because she has a crazy active, she can heal herself, and she actually has the ability to tag 2 targets if her ghostly possession has been tossed out. With all those things combined, she's definitely an A tier hero. In B tier, we have heroes like Carrie, Unimax, and Aspen. Carrie is slowly becoming one of my favorite heroes and actually climbing in ranking. Originally, I didn't use her too much and I used Tara in place of her, but she actually counters Penny, Amon Ra, and even some other ways very well, so she definitely deserves a slot in the B tier. Unimax 3000. Give him a torch, he counters all the Valkyrie waves. And that's pretty much all you need him for. But on top of that, he can also counter the priest waves later on in Aspen Dungeon where Ada would actually die. He also helps Ada defeat the Horus Valentino waves. So all around, he's a decent hero. He has a job, he has a role, he does it well. He deserves a slot in the B tier. And then there's Aspen. I think he is the perfect B tier hero. Just average. He's pretty good at bursting, but he needs a lot of demon potions to get going. He can sort of CC with his Horrify, but it's not that reliable because even if it does land and they have 100 energy, they'll still get their active off. So he's pretty mediocre at everything he does, but if you really need a burst hero and you don't have anyone from the A tier, he is definitely one of the better options. And then you have your C tier heroes. We have Asmodel, Kethuga, Tara, and finally Michelle. Asmodel is a pretty decent hero. He has basic hits both frontline enemies and the active hits all 4. He has his crit marks as well. The only issue with him is that he doesn't have any sustain, so often he's going to go in and he's just going to die, but he will do a decent chunk of damage or clear the way for you, and that's probably the best case scenario. Following Asmodel, we have Kethuga. Kethuga is a really strong hero if tuned correctly, so with the glittery candy cane. The issue is not many people have Kethuga, and even less people have a glittery candy cane. For that reason alone, I kind of put him lower on the tier, but I really wouldn't fault anyone for putting him in the B tier. Now, when I first started doing my Aspen dungeon runs, I actually put a lot of stock into Tara's ability to counter Amun-Ra, because Amun-Ra is the direct counter to Ada, so you actually need to bring a hero that can counter the Amun-Ra. So you can use the Tara when your Ada can't get into battle. The issue with Tara is he doesn't have any sustain, and I often found that he was just a suicide unit. He would go in, kill the Amun-Ra, not kill the rest of the wave, and then he would just die. And then he would follow up with an Ada. So it really was a one-shot hero. So with that in mind, he's not that good, but if you don't have any options to counter Amun-Ra, he does that job very well. And finally, we have Michelle, the hero that counters the most annoying hero in Aspen Dungeon, and that is Oberon. Because Michelle has 100% CC immunity, that means she can't get twined, which means Oberons can't scale damage, they can't poison her, they pretty much are just rendered useless. So for that purpose, she's actually amazing. The big issue with her though is that she doesn't have any crossover application. She can't really be used to fight other waves, so that brings her down a lot. But if you do need a counter for Oberon, Michelle is definitely the hero. So those are my thoughts on the best heroes you can use for Aspen Dungeon Death 50. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the people that gave me access to their accounts so we can push Death 50. And with all that data, we were able to come up with this tier list. I'm super grateful. Again, thank you very much. If you guys haven't checked me out, I stream every single day on Twitch at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm most likely going to make a couple follow-up videos to this talking about strategy and team compositions, so do look out for that. If you guys haven't checked out the giveaway we're doing for 1K subscribers, all the details are in the description box below. With that said, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys found this useful, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace!